More big weekend with Southeast Squad doubleheader, men's and women's. For you, what's it like going this weekend? Something that Gabby over here and her family and that group has worked so hard to build. I mean, you on social media, you can't. Southeast Squad is everywhere.
Yeah, as it should be, right? I think it's just a unique situation where we have one of the best players to ever wear the Bulldog jersey in our program, who's also making huge strides for a new organization 1 year in. And I was reading Kelly's article and seeing the dollar amount that they've raised in a year. It's just it speaks volumes to the group and the passion that they have for what they're doing and the communities around them. You know, they've been bringing hockey hits back to so many rinks around Minnesota. And I think the hockey community around here just gets it and supports it fully. And we couldn't be more proud of Gabby and her family. And you know, it's a huge opportunity for us as well to help in the cause and bring awareness to the importance of mental health in NCAA sports. It's a really big topic and something that's really important for us to keep pushing and talking about.
How's it changed your philosophy on tackling mental health of your program and your kids?
Yeah, I think, you know, you just have to step back sometimes because as coaches, we're thinking X's and O's on a daily basis in practice, and you get into sort of a hamster wheel. And then, you know, making sure that you're looking at your players from the whole perspective. You know, what else is going on in their lives? They're students right now. They have finals next week, probably some finals this week. So really trying to be mindful of all the things that they have going on in their world. So it's always a good reminder for coaches to view your players as more than just a hockey player.
This made you think about maybe your own mental health and that of your coaches as well. You talk about players getting lost.
Yeah,
It's
good
probably
question.
easier for coaches to get just
Yep.
with everything going on. I mean, on the ice, off the ice, recruiting right now,
Right.
all that.
Right. I have always been a big believer in balance in work and life and our players as well. And I preach that to my staff, you know, when they have family things or need to get away, that's absolutely okay. Because when you're here, and this is what we've been talking about this week, when you're at AMSOIL, we want the best version of you. Because once you leave the doors here, the real world slaps you in the face. And so try to enjoy this while you have it. When you're on the ice or in the weight room or whatever, coaches, players, people can't really bother you. And I think that's pretty special, and make the most of the time we have with each other, and find that balance in life and do other things besides hockey and school. You know, that's the beauty of being at UMD, and our players have embraced it fully, you know, whether they're getting up at the crack of dawn to see the sunset, skating on Lake Superior, hiking, walking, getting outside. They fully embrace the nature and the beauty of Duluth. And I think that's what helps us be successful on the ice.
St. Thomas, they're kind of still in this, I like to say this is a transition still for them to D1. What have you seen out of that program and its growth?
Yeah, I think, you know, it's a tough league to jump into. And I think, you know, their players are going to play really hard. I respect their coaching staff and what they're doing. I think the recruiting that they've done for the future is going to make an impact. So it's a great series for us to wrap up the semester with, a series that you want to pay attention to. Like I said, with finals and different distractions, we want to make sure we're focused and don't take anybody lightly. These are huge games for us, and we want to end on a high note.
So from Ohio State, obviously you guys put a bunch of goals early and then were able to just come out with the win on Saturday. How much confidence does that give you, especially coming into another series at home here?
Yeah, that was a fun one on Saturday. Just back and forth. Loved our start, obviously. And I think, you know, for our players to see what we're capable of, not just talk about it, but go out and do it and get the win. I think it's really special for our group, and we needed that. And so, yeah, I think we ride that feeling And again, it's a different series, different day. It starts 0-0 when that puck drops. So we need to be focused, but we should be feeling very confident in what we've done and what we will continue to do this season.
St. Thomas plays a lot of man-on-man, the defensive zone. How do you want to see your team attack that? You don't see a whole lot of that at this level.
Good observation, Bruce. Yes, we did see it just a few weeks ago against Harvard, who also plays man on man. So I mean, timing wise, it works out really well because it wasn't that long ago. And we know what we want to do against that sort of system and how to expose it. And they're very different teams, but there are some things that we will do to try to take advantage of that.
You kind of balance the transition going from top ranked teams into just kind of so taking their lumps a little bit to see where for that.
Right. I think great teams just do that. It really shouldn't be about who's in the other locker room. It's about who's in our locker room. And in order to get to, national championships in general, we need to show that we can do that. Regardless of who's over there, we're going to be the same team. And the scores might be different based on who we are playing, but we should be going at teams the same way, regardless of who they are, what they're ranked, what anybody wants to tell us. And that's what I'm hoping for this weekend.
How deep penalty St. Thomas takes? This might not be a great question for this weekend, but it feels like you're seeing a lot more 4-on-4 hockey in recent years. Do you practice it more because of that now, maybe than you were 3-4 years ago?
Yep, we focused on that last week. I mean, we talk about it a lot throughout the year, but in particular last week, we started introducing it a little more, strategically, intentionally in practice. We did it again on Monday, just because it tends to be you to the box, and we want to be ready for that. And another good observation by Bruce, he came in ready today with few penalties on St. Thomas. So we want to take advantage of whatever power play opportunities we have and, be ready to kill as well, because the teams they play tend to take more than they do each game.
One of the things that can start this weekend is having a fast start and the shot.
Yes, all together. Yes, yeah, put it all together, right, and not wait for anybody else to score to have to get it going. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, what's it been like on social, high school season's got going. You can't avoid it you can't avoid Sophie's spot on social media right now. What's it been like to see all these events popping up? We got some of them daily right now. You guys have an event going on at one of these high school games.
Yeah, it's a super busy season for us after the first year. We definitely have a lot more people reaching out, wanting to do events, wanting to host different things. So we've kind of had to either do an all-out game for everybody with the puck drop and all the other things we do. Some other teams we have to do just smaller stuff. Not all of our volunteers can make it to everything. We're still a small group in our first year, but right now we have about 18 to 20 scheduled events for Hockey Hits Back. So very busy, but that's what makes it fun. I think with our group, that's what kind of drives us, is that busy schedule, always having something to do, and having all these different teams wanting to interact with it is so cool compared to last year, having people reach out instead of us reaching out. So it's definitely cool, very rewarding to see.
I think we talked about the podcast, but trying to get enough volunteers to meet the demand right now. So how's that going?
It's good. It's depending on the day of the week or what night it is, it can be a little bit tough trying to get people to come out. But for this weekend, we were thinking maybe we'd have to get some UMD students involved in trying to help out. But turns out we have more than enough volunteers, probably a couple too many, which is amazing. Still bringing people from the cities up to Duluth, and also St. Scholastica, some of their athletes are volunteering. So it's not just a Duluth UMD event. We're bringing in other schools up here. So we thought maybe there'd be, since it is a doubleheader, there'd be some toughness getting volunteers, but everyone reached out and we ended up getting more than we needed.
Right, like you're picking up people as you keep doing these events. It's like a snowball.
Yeah.
New recruits and stuff along the way.
Definitely. It seems to be after an event we do, whichever area we're at, that area tends to start flooding in with people that reach out on our website wanting to volunteer, wanting to have their own events or different things that we could do. So I think that events in general are definitely reaching the people that we want to, and you can see with the people that want to give back to what we're doing through volunteers. So that's where most of ours came from for the UMD event, people coming up because they've had their own events and they wanted to get involved with it.
Are you able to continue balancing the growth of this organization with your academics, playing for the Bulldogs here? What's that balance and such like?
Yeah, it takes a while at the beginning of each semester from being home to coming back to get into that groove, but it is finding that balance and finding out what works for me to get into my groove. And I find journaling and having a calendar of everything laid out for me is kind of what makes me able to stay on top of everything. It can be a little bit hard, and there are days where I just feel a little exhausted or overwhelmed, but pushing through those days is definitely worth it with being involved with what Sophie Squad is doing. So just finding that little groove within the first couple of weeks I come back to school is crucial. And I think this year I had a great transition. So excited to go back home and come back. I got my tools ready for when I come back to transition to second semester.
You have a teammate like super organized that you can like lean on and be like, got any tips for how to balance all this?
Yes, there's definitely a couple on our team that are very laid out, planned out kind of people. And I kind of lean on them a little bit, but I also like to lean on the people that are more free and kind of go with the flow kind of people, because sometimes I need that in my life. So if I'm a little too structured, I'll lean on them to get me into the mood of just going with the flow and seeing where that takes me.
What stands out to you about this year's event? You guys did I think it was the first college game you did last year.
Mhm.
Was here at Amsoil.
Yep.
This year, what stands out about this event besides just getting, both events and teams involved?
Yeah, I think just reaching the men's team and them putting on an event, and they're playing Denver, so it's going to be a great series. But I think just the willingness from the whole entire Amsoil community, from both men's and women's, is super exciting to see. The men's team, a couple of them have reached out and talked to me about how the event's going to work, and it's fun to just chat with them about that on different things other than hockey or small talk when I run into them. So I think just bringing awareness to the men's side is definitely something Sophie Squad is focusing on. We've had a couple men's hockey games at the high school level so far this year, and hoping to continue to grow that, and having it at a Division I men's hockey school like UMD is definitely going to bring a lot more awareness. They do get more fans than us, so reaching a different crowd of people this year is definitely something we're excited for, and excited to see the big crowds for the weekend.
Did you guys reach out to them, or did some of the guys can reach out to you? How's that working?
To get their event going.
To do a double header.
Yeah, it was kind of Brian Nystrom. He mentioned it, and he brought it to Sophie Squad attention. We said we wanted to do another event with the women's team, and he was like, how about we do a double header? We have this date. It should work out perfectly. We'll get in touch with the men's team, and the men's team was fully on board with it. So it was Brian's idea, and we kind of rolled with it after that, and everything's fallen into place.
Remember last year we talked about like you were hoping to raise enough funds that you could do the golf out
Yeah,
so that it could, lead to, community hockey gets back.
yeah,
But, Kelly highlighted in there about social media, election day, you go down to Children's Hospital and make that great donation.
yeah.
How, is that kind of, what was that day like for you? That Sophie's got swat so quickly had gotten to that moment.
Yeah,
That's like fundraising.
that day was so fun. Being able to get a tour, the facility wasn't finished yet at the point. So just seeing like all the strategical structure that goes into one of those facilities, learning more about the process of trying to heal these people and trying to get them back out into the real world, and just how all of that works and all the thought that goes into those facilities was super cool. And to be able to hold one of those big checks and hand it to a Children's Hospital was something I will never forget. Writing it in my kitchen, I'm like, "Wow, take a picture. This is so cool." It's definitely something I will never forget, and we're so proud to be able to do that. But we hope we can continue to grow to give those donations, maybe give more, or find other organizations and other people that are trying to make facilities like Children's Hospital and give them money so that they are able to do those same kind of things. So it is a different year for us. Last year, it was more so raising money so that we could keep spreading the awareness, and now we have those funds to be able to do the events. We want to be able to now donate and give back to treatment centers and inpatient, outpatient centers.
Could you have foreseen how quickly this has grown? You guys started this last year.
Definitely not. I mean, I've said this in other conversations about this. We started with a couple parents and me and my dad and my brother just sitting down talking about doing something about this after losing Soph. So I think sitting at a table with some people that you're friends with and close with, having a conversation to build an organization, and within a year, we're donating X amount of money to Children's Hospital, to all these other centers. And it's definitely not something that we foreseen within our first year. It was one of our big goals for maybe 5-year plan or whatever, but for it to be in our first year was incredible, and definitely not something that we imagined, but it happened. And now we have to kind of replan and reconsider and figure out, if that was 1 year, what can we do in this next year? What can we do now in 5 years? If we thought that was the 5-year plan, like, we can really open up our eyes and get a lot more bigger with our ideas and goals.
Are you one of those players who, when you approach a game, like maybe that morning at breakfast, you're thinking, okay, I'm gonna come in and do the opening top short side? You visualize ahead what might happen in the game?
Yeah, I definitely am a visualization kind of person before games. I like to picture where I'm going to be on the ice, picture if I want to be good center support. I like to visualize myself where that's going to look like, what's that's going to look like when I get the puck, what open is going to be in the middle of the ice. And I think shooting, I don't really think about what spots in the net are going to be open, more so just what the rink's going to look like and how I'm going to feel is kind of what I like to think about.
What I was wondering is if great focus you've had in this wonderful event might interrupt some of that focus.
Definitely not. I believe that I'm a kind of person that when events like this take place, I find myself getting more motivated. I find a little bit more passion in what I'm doing when I am remembering Sophie the way that we are this weekend. Definitely going to be emotional. It's already been an emotional week for me, just doing all the stuff we've been doing and getting ready for it. But I think I'm a person that feeds off of that, and I'm able to kind of fly when I have those emotions if I rear them in the right direction. And I think I can do that this weekend with the event and play for Sophie and play for the people that give so much to Sophie squad and show everyone what UMD hockey is about this weekend.
Gabby, you mentioned you're a little bit different audience in the Sophie squad on Saturday night. For those that are unfamiliar, that don't know, what do you want them to learn about Sophie squad when they walk in the door Saturday night?
Yeah, I hope they can just see how passionate we are in the mission we're trying to spread, which is just awareness of mental health. I think still after the year we've had, a lot of people don't even realize how big of a deal it is and how prevalent it is within student athletes, no matter what age group it is. So hopefully we can just start those conversations, maybe get them to check in on their kids if they don't, or maybe get them to check in on their friends if they aren't. I think just starting those conversations, if they walk in the door and see how amazing the event's going to look and they can think about it and reflect on it and just start some conversations. I think that's our main goal when we do host these events. So hopefully we can get that spread throughout the fans that walk through the door.
Have you investigated at all the foundation on Mark Pavlich's family?
Mm-hmm.
There's a connection there. It's amazing that hockey is doing these things.
Mm-hmm.
Probably two of the biggest things in the country.
Yeah, definitely. We talk with them a lot. We kind of give ideas to each other. They ask us about how we got where we got in our first year, and we get kind of feedback from them. So we do like to work together, and it's definitely a team. We might be two different organizations, but we like to work together. We're all same goal, same boat of what we want to do and reach people. So that communication is there, and we support each other fully.
Hockey question for you. What's it like been seeing playing again with Ani and the points she's putting out this year?
Yeah, it's fun. We talked about that, I think before Ohio, I want to say Thursday. Like, oh, everything comes full circle, just like freshman year, 5th years playing together. It's definitely fun. We started playing college hockey together on a line, and now we're finishing. So it's definitely fun to see. We love playing with each other. We have a blast, and just to see the year that she's having is so fun. She's definitely soaking in every minute of her last year, and the leader she is on and off the ice. I think that's leading to how she's playing. She's a great leader for all the underclassmen, and she's definitely leading the way and showing them how to get things done out there.
Chris? exam progress?
It's different for each program. I'm in the Masters of Education, so mostly big presentations, big unit plans that you have to submit, different stuff like that. All my classes are online, so I don't have any in-person exams or anything like that. Just big projects too that you've been kind of working on throughout the semester.